Oops. Hello, everyone. Let me get situated here. Okay, so here we are on Saturday, April 27th, 2024, and we're in week two. That was two of the Dear Jane Sew Along. And today I'm going to be showing you what could be a tricky block in row two. I'm not completely finished with all my blocks for week two, but that's okay. I'll have them done by the end of the week, or probably end of this weekend. So I hope everyone's doing good today, and thank you so much for joining along with me. I need to get myself situated here. There we go. All right, so I swear every time I get on, I get an itchy nose. Um, Okay, well, welcome back. Uh, Again, today we're going to be working on row two of the Dear Jane Sew Along. So hopefully you've gotten some of your blocks sewn, maybe the first week's blocks. If you don't worry about it. Just go at your own pace. I just want to keep a schedule for myself. And then when you have them, and I don't think I mentioned this last time, when you're done with them, if you're going to post on, let's say, Instagram, your progress, let's use a hashtag so I know that you guys are following along and I can see, because eventually there's going to be, some fun prizes and such. So it is a little bit of participation. So what is that hashtag? Let me see if I can write it, or give me just a quick second, because I may be able to type. Oh, I can. I can type it. Ooh, look there. Into the chat. So it's going to be hashtag Dear Jane SAL. And so I've got that in the chat. It's hashtag Dear Jane SAL. And that's basically so long. So if you would like to do that, then just post your pictures and make sure to tag them with that hashtag. Otherwise, let's talk about today. Well, let me show you what I've gotten. I've got so far on row two. And I called it, or excuse me, week two. I keep calling it row two, but what I really mean is week two. Week two was blocks 7 through 13. And did it again. I got through 7 through 10. So I've got three more to make, which is fine. But again, this one is going to have applique and paper piecing as well. So this is where we're going to start. I guess I should do it this way. All right. So this is A7, A8, which is super easy. It's probably the easiest paper piecing block in the group. I'm gonna say, maybe. Love this block. This is A9, A10. That's the one we're gonna work on because I want you to look at this. Okay, look at the bottom compared to the block next to it. Do you see that weird wonky shape that's going on? This block was a little bit of a challenge, so I'm changing it up. And it doesn't matter if you are on EQ8 or not. It has nothing to do with that. Give me just a split second. A little warm here. This block was a little bit of a challenge, so I'm changing. Well, you might have got some double talking there. There we go. All right, so hopefully you can hear me now. Okay. Let me go. So I just want to do this real quick. There we go. Oh, hello, Terry. Okay, so what was it? What were we talking about? I don't remember. I have to jump back. Oh, good gracious. This is my life. I moved, I do something else and it's gone. This block that we're going to be doing A10, I believe it's A10, today I totally changed it. Actually, no, I didn't change it. I changed the way that it's done. Because let me grab all the pieces here. Because this is the template for, or just the guide for it. Now, what I want you to notice is it's basically a 5-inch block because they're all 5-inch until they're sewn together, then they're 4.5. So when you hear someone say 4.5 finished, that means basically when it's sewn together. So we have a few different sections. We have section A, we have section B, which is the square, and then you have these section Ds, these little points, and section, oh, I skipped C. But C is right in the middle here, this little eyeball shape. So what it wants you to do is print out the templates, which I did. And this is your A piece. So you would cut 4 of these for your background. Then you would cut 1 of this square and you would sew them all together. And you can do that. That is a-okay. But what I'm going to tell you, if you do it this way, keep a little bit hanging out of the edge of A, a little extra. So maybe do like a 1/4 inch extra hanging out around the outside area of the A's. Now the outside, not these parts. It may look silly at first, but you can go back and trim it up because mine warped a lot. And so I didn't do that, but I really did not want to do this again. So, because I felt like I just did not get it right and I wanted to make it easy on myself. So the other pieces are this C, which is the centerpiece. And then here is the little triangles. Now the little triangles have a little bit, just a teensy bit of an arc up there. And again, what I did, I'm going to do this for every template, except for I didn't do it for this, is I will take masking tape before I cut the shape out, cover the shape with, or not masking tape, excuse me. I use package, like shipping tape, you know, the clear stuff. Put a piece of it on top of the template, flip the template over or the paper over and put another piece there. Then I trim it out and this gives me a nice area that, or it almost I hate to say a lip, but it creates an edge. So when you're tracing, and then also what I do is take some double-sided tape and I put a little piece on the back so that way it'll stay on my fabric when I'm tracing or stay on whatever when I'm tracing. So I've got those done, but here's the thing. This is how I'm going to do mine. I've already got my pieces cut out. Now, this is going to be all applique. Woo! Okay. The thing about this is I went ahead and fused my fusible webbing to the back. I used the Baby Lock applique material, and it has a paper backing on the back, which most of them do. So unless I'm going to fussy cut, I always take the template and I will put it down on the paper side and trace and then trim. So I've got all my pieces. I've got 4 of these little guys. I've got 1 of my triangle, I mean, not triangle, my square, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the eyeball shape, petal shape, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, cut out. And those all have an applique type webbing on the back. Remember, there's tons of them. There's Steam-A-Seam, there's Hot Fix, there's the Baby Lock version, which I really like because it gives it a little bit more body. There's Embellish, there's R&K. There's so many different brands out there. OESD. So whatever you choose to use is up to you. But it really helps if you're just going to take a piece of fabric without anything on the back of it. You could even use a fusible interfacing. Doesn't matter. If you're going to use just a piece of cotton fabric to applique it to another piece of cotton fabric without that support, you're not going to be happy, I promise. Especially when you go to wash this quilt. Let's say you use it and you go to wash it. This is going to shrink up. It's going to look silly. So make sure you have something back there. And again, you can use like, what is it? SF101. I have some over there. Pellon, the fusible interfacing. It doesn't stick, but at least it has something on the back. So we've got that. Now, here's my background. Just a plain old 5-inch square. I am not going to try to do this again. With the 4, you have to cut 4 of these and sew them back together. It creates some weird bias, so it creates some weird shapes. So what I decided is I know what my finished block, or excuse me, I know what my block before it's sewn, what size it needs to be is 5 inches. So I've got a little 5-inch block. The next thing I'm going to do, and unfortunately, I'm not going to do this on camera, but is I'm just going to take it and fold it into quarters. And then with my little iron here that's sitting right next to me, I'm just going to press this area, or yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press this area just a little bit right here in the center. It doesn't have to be the whole area, but it can if you want. I'm just going to kind of do a little bit right here. On the other side. Okay. And that way I have a crosshatch to follow. So I've got there and I've got there. So I'm going to center my center block, but let me tell you about the center block real quick. So if you're going to do it the way I'm doing, what you want to do is cut it the size of the inside square, which is 2 inches. So you just want to cut a 2-inch square, not a 2.5, a 2-inch square. So, because we're taking off, the seam allowance, because we're not sewing it together, we're fusing it on. So I've got some fusible webbing on the back, and in a moment, I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine and we're going to get all this done. But really quickly, oh, and since we are doing some applique, remember to have your piece of tearaway material with you. But let's go look at, well, let's look at the book first. So this block is on page, get us there. It is on page 18 down at the bottom. Remember, if you're going to copy this and make it a template, you want to add a 1/4 inch to at least, let me think for a second. If you're going to do it my way, you're going to add a 1/4, you're actually going to do a 5-inch block here. You're not going to do, I don't even know, I've never measured this one. Let's measure it in the book. If it's 4.5, then we know we got to get a 5-inch block. Okay, it is. In the book, it's finished size. So you want to start with a 5-inch block. So when I say finished size, that means 4.5. So I know it's a little confusing, but you want to start with your 5-inch background square. The center piece is going to be a 2-inch applique piece. And then you can use scraps or whatever you like for these 4 triangles and the little eyeball shape. If you are using and if you were going to do it the traditional way, which looks very similar to this, where you have to piece the center in, then you want to add a 1/4 inch to those pieces. Not necessarily to the eyeball shape or the triangle. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take you over to Dear Jane on EQ8, just so we can take a look at where we're at. Okay, so here we are. Let me zoom out real quick. And here we are. So again, we're still working in the top row, but this is where we left off last time. And now we want to finish up these guys. But so this first one is applique. It's very similar. Oh, excuse me, where are you? It's very, very similar to this one that we did last week. And you can applique it however you want. How did I do? Where is she? Oh, I just did regular, I didn't do, wait, did I? Oh yeah, I'll show you all that next week. I did the, what I know it's not, but this is where I learned it. The, Eleanor Burns kind of way that she teaches applique sometimes. And basically that's putting a piece of stabilizer on top of your fabric, stitching the design, then cutting the stabilizer and flipping it inside out. So we'll do that next week because I didn't really plan for that this week. But there it is. Now the blocks, instead of trying to use that as a paper piece, what I did was I cut 4, let me double measure. Yeah, 4 2.5-inch blocks and stitched them together in a regular 4 patch and then did the applique on top. Okay, so again, we're working on this little guy, and again, mine came out terrible. I didn't even put the center in. I'm going to be making another one. So where that block is, if you are in EQ8, we're going to take our zoom, and I'm just going to select that second part of the row that we're doing. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oops, that one's 13. So that's what we're working on. Well, that's what you're going to be working on this week. But here is 10. So I'm just going to click on templates and preview so you can see how it comes in. So you would have to remember to spread them out if you can. It just makes life easier when you go to cut. So again, you can print these out and use them. You definitely want to at least print out these 2. They're not going to give you 4. You don't need 4. But what you need to do is, if you're not going to do any needle turn applique, is only cut out the center here. You're going to use that for here. And same thing with the C. You're going to cut out just the center, not the outside edge. You can get rid of that. And let's say you didn't really want these on here. You can just click it and delete. Click the other one and delete, because you know you're going to be doing it. Oops, there we go. A different way. Now, I haven't figured out if you can like multiply them. So that's really up to you. I like that this one has a little picture up here. It kind of really helps guide me. So that's the one you're going to use. And again, if you are going to use this, we're not going to use foundation paper piecing. We're going to use the templates. All right. Let's get out of that, and then let's switch over to the machine. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I'm at my machine right now. And what I want to do is I want to grab, where's all my stuff? Here it is. So I want to grab my pieces. Oh, I was like, where are the rest of the pieces? And I want to center this guy up on these lines here. So what I'm going to do is do a gentle fold, which means I got to get a hold of it, sorry. Which I'm only going to fold it in half like this and press the top and the bottom. I don't want to put a mark all the way down the fabric because it's got webbing on it and it's a little thick. Okay, so I got that, and this will press out. I'm going to do the same thing for the sides. Just give me those little edges where I know to line it up. Now I'm going to remove the paper, and how I remove paper is score and release. So I take a pen and I score it. I promise you, it makes it so much easier. And then where that little part is, there it is. I'm going to just remove paper. There we go. And then I'm going to line up my little marks along here. So I'm gonna get in a little bit. Trying to get it where you can see it. All right, there we go. So I should have marked it with a pen. I totally should have marked that with a pen because now I can't see. I'm just gonna wing it. How about that? Oh, I think that's way too high. Let me do this real quick. Let me mark it with a friction pen, the spots I want to line up. So basically, if this is a 2-inch square, we're going to go in 1 inch to find the center on each side. And I know I'm doing this off screen, I apologize, but you'll see my marks here. Hopefully, my fabric has a lot of lines on it, so I don't know if you'll actually be able to see it, but I will be able to see it. Okay, so now I can take this little piece and I have some marks. Here's one mark. Here's the other. And I need to make sure that it's going to, yep, I need to get over. And that's why I like this stuff too, is because it's sticky and I can pick it up and move it. It's going to be almost right. Almost there. I think this is going to be the hardest part to me. All right. Now, is it straight? I'm just going to hold it up in front of me. It is not straight. It's super crooked. Let's just do this. Let's use the top and the bottom mark along that line. So lay it there. Now and then I need to bring it down. There we go. And boom. That should be better. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So next what I'm going to do is I am going to add my little triangle pieces. So I've got those right here. And I'm going to do the same thing, my score and release. Now, however you do these is actually really up. The traditional way, how Jane did them, I'm going to show you that way. And what I mean is how you could actually position them, not how you stitch them. That did not. Get that paper off. All right. So if you want to do the Jane way, you can just place one going this way, right? If you want to be a little different, you really could come here and do it like that if you wanted to, which is kind of cute. But I'm going to do it traditional. I probably, if I was not teaching this course, I would probably be doing things a lot different. It's just because I can't help myself. All right, so I'm going to and you could crease this area or draw a line here to get it really straight. But I'm just going to do it by sight. I call this visually centering. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to do the rest of them. And then I'll take a look at it, make sure that nothing needs to. After this, I'm going to press because I want that webbing to fuse to the fabric. And then we want it to pull as completely as possible. I'm really just trying to aim for this to be in line with that. Okay. And then right up at my pen. Oops, excuse me. All right, so we're going to do. Let me go ahead and do the other one. All right, so stuff's sticking to me. All right, so we're going to come here. And again, I'm just going to line it up and kind of stay in with that angle. And then last one. And then we're going to plop the little eyeball piece on top. Pulling this off. Okay, there we go. All right, so here we go. So we're going to place it down. I'm going to try to get to this as possible. I should have drawn either drawn lines or stick. That's okay. But look how cute that is already. So last piece that I'm going to go ahead and put everything on is this one right here. Just and I'm going, and I'm going to score the center. And Jane has it going at an angle, meaning it's not straight across or this way. It's actually like this. So let me get a little close so I'm kind of taking a look at what I'm doing. So I can see that's too far down, so I need to bring it up a little bit. And again, you could measure this as well and do it if you wanted to, if it makes you feel better. I still think this needs to move up a little bit. I'm gonna kind of hold it where it is. Up, and down. Not too much. Now I think I'm not getting it right. All right, whatever. So I'm just gonna go for it one more time. And that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera real quick and press this really good with a really hot iron. No steam. I actually do not use steam in any of my quilts. The only time I really use steam is if well, actually, I don't ever. I use a water bottle. I'll spray my fabric with water. And it's just to use it for getting creases out of fabric or anything like that. What I found personally, this is just my problem, nobody else's. What I found personally is that depending on the water you use, it can be bottled water, it could be tap water, it could be whatever you're using. It kind of leaves calcification in um the iron, the spot that holds the water, and you'll get spitting after a while because it builds up around that little nozzle. And so then it gets into the little holes. And so I'd rather keep my irons dry as a bone because I hear a lot, I hear and see a lot. Remember, I've been in the industry for a long time and I've worked at a few quilt shops. I've seen people get really mad at their iron because they think it's broke, and it kind of is, but it's mostly because of the water and the steam. Well, not the steam, but the water. All right. So I've got this on, and I'm just going to, off camera, what I'm doing is waving it so I can get it cool, because you don't want to try to put a needle through it right now because it'll be goopy, right? It's got to cool down. So I usually just sit here and fan myself with it. And, yeah. It's so crooked. Ah, I just saw that it's pretty crooked, but you know what? I'm gonna go with it now. Where is my tearaway? It's right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my design or my block on a piece of tearaway. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to raw edge these guys, raw edge applique. I'm going to raw edge applique here and then do a blanket stitch around the outside of the block. So I am going to take my needle because I'm going to do the little triangles first. And I'm going to move it all the way over to the right. This just makes me more comfortable. You can do it however you like. And then I need to scooch in a little bit. So see is I'm going to put the edge of the foot along the edge here, kind of like we did last. And I'm going to drop the foot, and I want to see where the needle's going to hit, and it's right inside. Really, I want it to be a little bit further over, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit towards the center, drop my needle, and, I want to be, I don't know, like a 16th inch away. It's so small from the edge. So I'm just going to use the inside of my foot. I'm first going to lock my stitch, and with my machine, I can push a button. It actually ties a knot, or you can back stitch right here. Again, if you have a machine that has basically the needle down pivot, what that means is when the foot raises, that I'm able to turn. You want to make sure that's on. or grab your knee lift. All right, here we go. So again, I'm just doing raw edge. I'm just doing it right along the edge here, basically. Okay, so this, I think I need to go one more baby stitch, and then we're going to come back down. Now, a lot of people do not like raw edge because it doesn't encase the edges. Again, that's really up to you. I like raw edge. I think it's just, you know, number one, it's quick and easy. Number two, it's just it just gives it kind of a little bit of a more messy look. And I am using a color very similar to this fabric. It's actually one of the Tula Pink threads. Okay, and right here, I'm just going to go one more stitch and then lock again. And I'm going to do that for the rest of the three. There we go. And it's just got a little bit of stuff in there. All right, here we go. The first one didn't look as good as I like because I'm sitting in, I personally think either it's user error or it's me sitting in a really weird position to do this. Because again, my sewing table is an angled table. Or excuse me, not angle. It's a corner, like corner of your room table. And honestly, I would have not gotten this if I knew I would be doing a lot of videos because it doesn't call itself really good for doing videos or doing live because it makes it hard to put the cameras. Oop, I went one step over, so I'm going to back up one and then I'm going to come down. Yeah, my lines are a little wonky, but that's okay. I could go through and put some more lines, make it kind of look quilted. I'm not going to do that. Now I'm going to get to these other two, just go really quickly. And then we're going to do the centerpiece. And then we will go and do the blanket stitch around the outside of the square. Lock my stitches. Next, we're going to go down this way. One more. And sometimes you just have to do a little crossover. It really doesn't show up. So, and then we're going to go back up, straighten up. And then we can turn, and we're going to go along this really, really almost unnoticeable curve. One more, a good measure, and then we're going to come down, cross over a stitch or two, and then lock it into place. Again, you can use your back or your back stitching there if you like. All right, one more on this little guy, and then we're going to do the center. Let's see. Pocket. Good spot there. Maybe I should have my needle a little bit more to the right, but I will move. And then we're going to come back down, and I'm going to lock it into place. And there we go. I just have like a little bit of an edge there. Now, what I could do when I'm done is go and trim really close to that, or I can rough up the edges to give it like a little, I don't know, raffia look. It's really up to you. I'll probably just leave this one. This is my practice one anyway, or my, demo one anyway. So, that link off there. Now I'm going to do the inside here. Actually, you know what? I think I do want to do a blanket stitch on this one. So what I'm going to do, add some play fabric here. we'll use this. I'm going to go to my blanket stitch. If you are on the Baby Lock Solaris, the one I'm going to be using is in the main menu, second tab, and it's 2-04. But I want to look at it first, so I'm going to always test it out first. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to move my needle all the way to the edge. Well, you have to push the button in order for it to work. You guys do. I need to put on this. Stop there. Okay, let's count. One, oh, one, up, down, one, up, down, one, up, down. Okay, this one goes one, and then up, down. Okay, let's take a look. It's actually really pretty. It's like a little bitty, tiny, tiny one. I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll keep this one. I've got my count down, but I'm going to lengthen it, like spread these little guys apart. You can just use your length button and it'll spread these little guys apart. All right, so let's do that center this way. So I am going to go and put the inside edge of the foot right up against my applique. We'll start about right here. We drop the foot. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to put my needle down, and it looks like it's going to start in that up position. And then, oh, it went over, didn't it? Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh no, I messed up. And I'll tell you why I messed up. I moved my left-right shift. I accidentally hit it, I guess. And I need to move that needle over. Oh, is it not going to let me? Well, let's hit reset. I have a reset button. There we go. There we go. That's much better. So, oh, good. It didn't need it. All right. So we're going to try this again. And stretch out my length a little bit. And then, oh, I just went and did a reset basically. You have a button you can reset. Now, if this one does not go out to the edge, then I might have to switch it up. So let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Let me try a different one. Let me try the one we normally, because that goes way too far in. It's not going on the edge. So I'm kind of having to fight it, which I don't like to do because I do my applique a little bit differently. So let's get 2-03. Let's make sure this is the right one. And this is where my little sample piece comes in, and I can just make sure I'm going to do my counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, back up and down. Okay, this is the one I normally do. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down. So that's how this one is for. But I am going to lengthen it up a little bit. And I'm going to make the width of the little guys a little bit smaller. So you can do that with your length button and your width button. It changes. All right, so let's try this one more time. Again, I'm going to move my needle all the way over. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to drop my foot and put the edge of the foot on the edge of my applique. I'm going to drop my needle. Ah, much better. Now it's hitting where I need it to be. And let me show you what I mean. So, you can see someone. You can see my needle right in there. It is sitting right along the edge here. Okay, it's almost on the, it's pretty much on the pink fabric, not the white. All right, so we're going to drop the foot. And we're just going to get a count. Oops, that's it. 1, 2, and over and down. So 1, 2, 3, up and down. All right, here we go. And remember, we do this until you're comfortable. And see, I don't ever feel like I'm comfortable with applique. So I always go slow as a snail. Yes, I'm so sorry. But I'd rather take my time than not take it. Okay, so I'm using that needle down pivot with this too. Then we're gonna keep going around till we get to that point. And this is where we need to start counting. 1, 2, 3, up, down. And now what we're gonna do is take it, bring it around, make sure that edge of the foot is right there. So it's gonna go forward, back, forward, up, down, and back around. I think I just wanted that to run. And up and down. Let's come here. And you know what? If you're super comfortable with this, then I want you do it however, whatever works for you. There are no quilt police allowed in my groups, and there's no quilt police allowed on the Dear Jane. What we're doing is we are trying to have fun, and whatever works for you best, just do it. Does not hurt my feelings if you don't do it my way. Oh, I'm glad I used that little peach color on the white. That's actually really pretty. All right, 1, 2, 2, stop. So now we're going to turn. We're going to kind of get a little bit more at an angle here. There we go. All right, here we go. And now I'm going to turn just a little bit, and there we go. I'll let it do one more rotation and done. And I'm going to lock it into place. That actually looks really cute. I like the color on it. And cut the thread. And there we go. So not too bad. Now I'm going to do the outside of the square. So I'm just going to start a little ways inwards. I'm going to use the exact same stitch and the exact same stitch length and width. So, but I always like to start further or away from the points. So anyways, so here we go. Now this one might be a little quicker for you because you're not going around any weird shape. You're not going around any curves. You're not going around shapes. I mean, this is a shape that you don't. Yeah. Okay, so almost there. We're almost to the bottom. And the last one is I'm going to count. So 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to turn and watch what happens. We're going to go up, down, start over. Okay, there we go. So I don't let it go over until I turn the project. And you see why having the needle down pivot function or a knee lift is so helpful in this. So let's play this. So in the comments, if you're listening and even if you're watching the replay, tell me what kind of machine you have. What kind of machine do you just love? All right, so now we're coming to that other corner. So we're going to go 1. Oh, my bad. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't stop, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is turn, and it's just going to bring me back. Okay, perfect. I made it around. Sometimes it's scary, you know, you're really not sure, but I think that's why I like this blanket stitch over all the other blanket stitches too, is because it's easy to count. Like that other one, I was having a hard time. The moves. All right, let's see where we are. Up and down. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna nip it around. And it's gonna go over, and then now we can go to the rest. I'm just gonna give, you know, a little bit of speed there, but we're about to come up to the end here. Let it do one more time, and then I'm gonna start counting. So 1, 2, 3. We're gonna turn, and then we're going to go down and meet where we started. And one more, and then I'm going to lock it. And I've got a lot of threads and stuff to clean up, which is fun with me. Even some little bit of shedding of, but let's take a look at it. It's pretty cute. Yeah, I like this way better than trying to do it the other way because now I have all my size. That block probably ended up being about 4.25 versus 4.5, so, doing it the traditional way. So I actually like this way better. So I'm going to make it in the fabric I like, or the fabric that's going into my quilt, and redo that block. So let's flip over to me, and I don't just have one, I love them all. Me too, Jackie. Um, I know. How many how many do I have? It's okay to brag here, by the way. Um, okay, so this is this is what I have just well, I have one extra machine I'm not going to tell you about. It's a different brand, but that does not get used. But they're like your children. You can't get rid of them. So I have a 6 needle. I've got one of my favorite machines of all time. And if you're looking for it, I'll put a link up in the group here where you can go and check this machine out. You can actually now purchase things on babylock.com. So I'll put a link up for you. But my favorite sewing only machine that's not heavy and it travels well and it goes to classes with me is my Babylock Soprano. It has the needle down pivot, it has scissors, the cutting feature, it has everything that I wanted. But in a small version. It does not have any embroidery. But you can get one very similar to that, the Soprano with embroidery. And then I have a Babylock Meridian that is upgraded to the Babylock, excuse me, Upgrade 2, which is so much fun. It's got IQ Designer in it. And then if that wasn't enough, I had to get a Babylock Solaris, and it is upgraded to the latest, which is Upgrade 3, or you can call it the Solaris Vision. They're great machines, especially if you like embroidery, you like designing your own stuff. But the Meridian is an embroidery only machine. The Solaris and the Meridian has a sister called the Altair, which is embroidery and sewing machine. But the Solaris by itself is only a embroidery and sewing combo. So they're really, really great. Yeah. So that's what I have. And but I have a lot because of the teaching aspect. I've been teaching it for years, and I like to have, okay, let me just go back. It's because I'm greedy. I want all of them, but also I teach on all of them. Okay, so here's what it looks like. It's not so bad, right? Not so bad. It's just applique. Let's get the paper away because it's making it look a little silly. And remember, when we're removing the paper, we want to do it gently. Do not rip. I like to hold. Let me get over here. I like to hold my fingers on the stitches, and I'm going to do it from behind. And this is especially true in embroidery. And I'm just going to gently rip it away. So, oh, the crescendo. Yeah, so Jackie has she has a really great lineup there. So the crescendo is amazing. It's a bigger throat than mine. It's got more of a electronic aspect to it. It's really cool. And then she has a brilliant, which is I think very similar to mine. The Spirit, which is a little bit more of a smaller machine, the Babylock Meridian. So yeah, and an Accomplish, which is a serger, which I don't use. I don't use sergers. I look at them all the time and I'm like, should I? And I'm like, no, I'm going to leave that to the real serger professionals because I'm not good on sergers. I don't understand them. Okay, even though people have tried to teach me about them. Okay, so here we go. Looks so much better than, let's pull this other one out. Okay, so let's hold it there. Doesn't that look way better? Number one, the square looks better. And remember when I was showing it to you, see the bot? No, let me do it this way. So see the bottom, see how it's not straight or even the right size compared to the one next to it. I have some dips. I think it had to do with when you cut those shapes of the background fabric, it makes it more biasy and so very stretchy. And so, yeah. So I do like this method much better. So again, we used 5-inch block. We took the appliques, or we took the pieces and turned them into applique, basically. So now, and Jackie, this doesn't very much, yeah, we're gonna have to think about this. Could I design this in my machine? I could. I could actually take this into my machine because it has something called IQ Designer. The Meridian, the Altair, the Solaris, and the Baby Lock Destinies, and Brother Like machines. They all have something, or the Baby Lock machines have IQ Designer. The Brother Like machines have My Design Center. So I could design this block in my machine and stitch it out as an embroidery. It's pretty darn cool. Oh, you know what? Oh, what did I get it? Oh, the accomplice. I'm so stupid. I'm going to redact all I said about sergers. And that's how bad I am. I'm thinking that it was a serger. No, the Accomplish is a straight stitch only machine. Baby Lock's gonna kick me out. It's a straight stitch machine. It's a heavier machine. So duh. Thanks, Jack. It's all right. It's all metal. It's just more like, I hate to call it industrial, but it's definitely that heavy machine. What did I mistake it with? One of the sergers. My bad. Okay. So what I want you to do, if you're feeling frisky this week, I would love for you to get the other half of row A done. If you are making these, remember I put it in the chat and you post a picture either in my group or on Instagram or even on Facebook. You're going to put the tag hashtag Dear Jane SAL. That basically means sew along. So that way I can kind of keep a track of who's doing things. And also eventually we're going to be doing giveaways. So I'm just taking a little bit of time till we get there. Probably do it we may do like quarter way through on each of, do some giveaways. But thank you for coming on Saturday. I know it's a little weird day, but we ended up going. I bought tickets like in December, and do I think about this stuff? No, I forget about it most of the time. And so we had a concert to go to last night, and then that's probably why I look a little sleepy. And it was amazing. But I think Saturdays are great too. So, for me, since this is going to be live and it's going to be on YouTube, I think we have a little bit more leniency. So the majority of the time, unless there's something going on, it's going to be Fridays at 8. Otherwise, I will pop on Saturdays. So I don't do much anymore. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all y'all joining in. If you're rewatching this, thank you so much. Again, my name's Anna, and let's do some Dear Jane sewing. Get your machines out and let's have fun. So I hope everyone has a great week. I will see you Friday at 8. And if you are on my Facebook group, which is Forever BB Louise Sewing at the Beehive on Facebook, we do lives on Sundays at 8. So hope to see you there. And I have something really cool I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'm super excited about this. So hopefully it works out, but I think it's going to be fine. So, all right, everyone, have a good one. And thank you so much. Remember to shop local. Remember to always shop local, shop small, and y'all have a great